Good morning, everybody. We'll get this meeting started with a roll call vote. I am here. Miss Allen,
Here.
Mr. Palin, Mr. Strogstead,
Here.
and Miss Naylor. Visitors, we have nobody that's not on the agenda. Approval of the previous minutes. Does anybody see any corrections that need to be amended? Hearing none, they will stand as read. Everybody's got the claims in front of them on their board book. Page 18. Does anybody have any questions on any of them?
I'm just assuming that there's usually we have a lot more than what's listed on here that they're coming on the second.
Yes.
Okay.
That's exactly correct, because remember, staff only did training last Wednesday. So they've slowly getting trained up and entering them in. By next month, we'll get more in a routine of this. You're absolutely right, though. We just haven't had a whole lot of time to enter them. Keep in mind, Claims Committee, which is meeting outside of its normal schedule this Thursday to take care of the claims you're seeing. But then they're going to meet again the following Wednesday and pick up anything else. And then after that, in February, we'll be on a regular schedule.
I just want to make sure everybody knew what that was. I assume that's what it was.
Like the report.
Yeah, and I saw
Yeah,
one that had everything.
Paula, are you liking this too?
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
And Paul, is there anything about the report that you think is, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but is there anything that you would add to the members in terms of how to read the report or understand the report?
Yes. So this report goes from the reports that you guys are going to see will be from the previous executive meeting. Well, maybe it won't work out quite that way. So this report goes from the day after the executive meeting when the last bills were approved through last Thursday. So next one will go from the Thursday before Claims Committee, the Thursday after, Friday after Claims. Oh my God, I'm just butchering this so bad. Anyway, you're going to get a month and you're going to get, and so every month you're going to get from the day after that report ends through the day of the next report. So you should see all of them. So any pay on vacations that were done since then are on this report, and those are through the checks that we cut last Thursday. Did that make sense? This goes through last Thursday. That's all I needed to say.
There's also a date on here too.
Yes, the date at the top. Yes, you're correct.
So
Yes.
that's great.
Go ahead, Bob.
I haven't done any paid on vacations since we incorporated this, correct? Maybe one or two. I can't think of what they were.
I think that was a little bit before we actually got started.
Yeah, so this
Yes.
is working. That's what my point. I love it. And not that I hated doing paid on vacations, but I wanted to make sure it sees more eyes. So
Okay, moving on. I love the report. Moving on to department head reports. We'll start with Chris. You're first on the agenda, so you can go first.
Thank you. I am excited to be here. I did get my report in. I think it was uploaded and you all have access to it. I saw it in the system, so I won't go over everything. By far, we're busiest right now with the quarantine issues. I so wish that the CDC and IDPH and ISB would get on the same page. It's really frustrating to all of our superintendents that the CDC came out with this new quarantine guidance down from 10 days to 5 days and then waited a week to adapt it to schools. Now they have adapted it to schools. However, IDPH has not released their guidance on it. ISB and IDPH on Friday released to all of our superintendents that they will be adapting rules shortly without making it official. So that really puts our superintendents and principals in a horrible position when the public knows that the guidance has been lessened to 5 days and then masking after as far as quarantine goes. However, schools are still being kind of held accountable to the 10 days. So I've already been on the phone this morning with the Whiteside County Health Administrator. And I talked Friday to Kathy Ferguson and to Kyle Almond and to Cheryl Lee in the 3 counties, and they're all awesome as always. So they're just trying to do the best they can and wait for the guidance from IDPH. So that's what we're dealing with right now. so far, knock on wood, we've only had a school in Polo and a school in Prophetstown that's had to go remote because of their numbers, and we're hoping.
Idea. Make a note, make a note.
Oh, it's back up. That's right.
All right, we're good.
All right. So I was just saying that December tends to be a little quieter because we have a lot of our districts on break, but this was a pretty busy month for us. Luckily, we didn't have any Lee County schools with issues, but I'm sure you saw in the paper that Montmorency School caught on fire in Rock Falls. And then we had a couple of water main breaks, one in Prophetstown and one in Oregon. So we've been able to work with those districts and get students back in the building while work's being done. So we were thankful for that. In the report, you'll notice that there's a couple of things that I wanted to highlight. One, our Regional Center for Change just had 3 graduates, which is awesome. 2 were from Sterling High School, 1 was from Rock Falls High School. That happened Friday. I was over there for that. And it's a big deal. And we had a nice assembly with all the other students cheering for those 3 students that graduated. So that's a big deal in an alternative school because the only students we get are students that are struggling and on the verge of dropping out and not being successful at their home school. So that was a great day for us Friday. I hope you get a chance to take a look at our Nexus update. There's some pretty neat things in there. I mean, so far since we started the program with the help of Lee County and Whiteside County and Ogle County, we're really appreciative of the help we've been given to get that going. I mean, we've worked with 78 families so far, 27 have been identified as homeless. We're dealing with 28 families that have at least one member dealing with mental illness. 44 of these families have been affected by trauma. We've got 11 who have experienced domestic violence. 15 of them are going through some pretty tough times with COVID. And you can see the breakdown of some of the things we've been able to do. Lee County, we've got 4 families from AFC, 5 families from Amboy, and 2 from Pawpaw that we're working with right now. And then you can see the families that we're working with in the other 3 counties are also in the report, highlighting the success stories that we've had so far. We've been able to get housing for one family that was homeless and was very thankful for that. We were able to do some great work over the holidays. I give the team a lot of credit. We had 320 individuals that we were able to get food for Thanksgiving, 229 food for Christmas break. We were able to get Christmas gifts for 96 children and successfully linked families with a lot of services. And there's some pictures in there. We were able to use the ROE vehicle to help deliver all this stuff. So again, we're thankful for Lee County for chipping in and helping us to get that vehicle. It's been great. And I think you're going to notice that our mileage checks every month are way down since Josh and I and the other employees have been able to use that. So wanted to hit those things. You can see that our education outreach program, we're excited because we were able to get more students into job shadowing. That's a big part of that program, not just getting them their GED or what's considered their high school equivalent high school diploma, but also getting them some work experience. And you'll notice some of the places we've been able to place students in there. And one of the places taking some of our students for experiences, Lee Ogle Transportation. So we're thankful to Great Gates for that. And you can see in the truant section, we are off and running again. We've got already over 480 active students in our truancy program. Our big focus for this year is to try and help them transition, from remote back to in-person. And there's been some success, and we're hoping that we can get that 480 plus number down by the end of the year. But our caseloads are big, and the people in that department are working hard at trying to help students and help families. So take any questions anyone has about the wonderful world of education right now.
I've got nothing. Thank you, Chris. Your Nexus program, when I looked at this report, was pretty interesting. So looks like it's a good program to have around.
We're very excited, and I did want to thank Chris for stopping by our office before break. It was great to have him come over and kind of see our utility and space needs. I mentioned that we are kind of busting at the seams at our office, and we don't want to move. That's such a hassle. So I'm very grateful. I did meet with Newman, and it only took one meeting, and they're undertaking some renovations in our building. We were able to get the whole kitchen area gutted over break, and the Whiteside Area Career Center building trades class is going to put our kitchen back together at no charge for the labor. So Newman's going to help pay for the stuff, and we're going to take pictures of the local students building our kitchen back and get it up on our website. So thankful for that.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, I would highly recommend just stopping in there and seeing the building. Being a Newman grad, I never even went through it, so it was interesting to see, so. Thank you, Chris. We've got the assessment office report. Jen is in.
Yeah, Board of Review is meeting today. She had limited days when she could get all three members of the Board of Review together, so she had to take today to do that. Carmen was going to come up and give us a GIS and assessment office report, but Carmen is one of our employees that has come down with the version of COVID that's going around. So she was not able to join us today, but there is a written report in your packet there.
That. Moving on to, well, GIS is right there. We'll move on to Nancy. You want to give a report?
Morning. I would like to just emphasize that starting this Thursday, you can pull your petitions. The filing dates for those will be March 7th through the 11th and Monday, March 14th. If you have any questions, please see me or my election department. And one other thing we need to discuss is this lovely Lee County official yearbook. This comes out usually every 2 years. Obviously, we're behind because we kind of tabled that last year. So that's something that we need to discuss going forward, if that's something the county wants to keep doing book-wise or do it.
Can you give us any idea? I know that you're relatively new in the position, so you may not know, but how many people actually will request the printed version? Because I personally would love to see a digital version that gets posted on our website and on Onboard, unless you can tell us that there are lots of people that really like this book.
No, I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I know in previous years, they have ordered around 200, and that leaves in my office usually an extra 20. And there are some people that come in and request it, but not very often.
And some of the 200, I believe, gets distributed to the county departments,
Correct,
with or without a request. So that's where some of those books have been going for all these years.
correct. In the previous years, they cost $6.50 a book to print. So it cost the county around $1,300 if you went forward with actually printing the book. Again, I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I don't know if that's anything we want to really go forward and work on it right away because
I love the idea of the digital version because then you can use the technology of a digital version. You can actually do a find in a document and find the county assessor or the county administrator or whatever. Really love that idea. I'm not sure how the board members feel about that, but I'd be all about it.
Well, in the last year, Bob and I were talking about this. How many board member changes have we had that you could update that as we go? Department heads, perfect example of yourself as the administrator. We're constantly making changes within the county. It's a digital world. We all have iPads in front of us now.
I think we need to push everything digital, or not everything, but as much as we can forward. So just my
I think the
opinion.
key is just getting it on our website in a place that is logical and easily accessible and transparent to the general public. And as you said, keep it up to date.
Yeah, absolutely, John. They're outdated, no reason.
But who's
correct.
job-
And
whose
like
job
you
is it
said,
to
then
do
I
that?
don't know if that's something we want to look at more towards the end of the year because your county board's going from 24 to 20. Like I said, in this expired the year 2020, but I have not had anyone contact me saying, where's the new book? Just FYI. And that's all I have. Any questions?
Got your election equipment. I was in there the day that the girls got it, and it seems to be they're learning to train on it.
Yep. It's all in the building and we're extremely happy with how we were able to reuse what we call a big, large suitcase from our previous equipment, and they were able to put inserts. So it's all locked in there safely. So when they're coming in and out of places, it's secured.
Fantastic. Any additional questions? Hi, Bill. Looks like you're in San Francisco.
Hello.
So Bill's been having technical difficulties, but he managed to work his way right through those technical difficulties. And I just texted him and said, hey, I can see you now. Nice job.
I can see me too.
Only one other comment on the book. Nancy, I would love to talk to you about like the format of that digital version and how it would look and how we can accomplish our goal of making sure that it's, easily updated and out in a location where it's easily found by the public.
Moving on, Paula.
So we've been pretty busy of late. Fiscal year end was November 30th. So, and then of course the calendar year end was, what day is it? 10 days ago. So today's 10th, right? So, and we brought up the claims process. So we've been busy doing that. We've got W-2s actually created. They are out on our MyPay. If anybody wants, if you guys don't have access to MyPay, we can get you set up and you can download that, and you can also get your pay stubs out there. Otherwise, they will be mailed towards the end of January, the W-2s. We have auditors coming in next Monday. We are going to be working on getting our 1099s out over the next couple of days. And what else has been going on, I guess? The claims, all the year-end processes, fiscal end calendar and auditor. Yep, that's it. That's what's going on.
Feel like you need a couple more things to do.
No, I really don't.
So I have to interject at this point. Sorry for Chris for interrupting again, but I have to give a high kudos to Paula and her team because this claims process would not have happened without all of their work. And it's a lot of work getting everything set up behind the scenes. She's had training sessions now. She's working with department heads and staff to make sure things get entered correctly. It has been a lot of work. Paula's being very humble about what she's been working on. I can tell you this consumed a lot of time. And I personally really appreciate it because I am super excited about this new claims report. Thanks, Paul. And please pass that along to your staff too. I do appreciate all the effort they put into it.
I will.
Any additional questions? Paul, we'll move on to you.
Thank you. I'll try to be brief because I think I'm going to be talking a little bit longer later in the meeting. So IT's been busy also, and key projects have been keeping us busy. One, the tablets and the computers associated with this new onboard meeting format for you all. And I want to call out to Jonathan for all his work in that. And then Zach has been furiously busy with assisting Shannon and Amy with full court enterprise upgrades at the end of this year, and working with the vendor and Stacy Stewart to get Stacy Stewart a new probation monitoring tracking software system and server up and running. And we still have a couple of things to check off there before it's live. I want to thank Zach for all his work on that. And then I've been working with State's Attorney's Office, Judge Ackert, and Amy Jensen on quotes for the courts for some technology that's going to be paid for through some grant money. So, and we have a hard deadline of just a couple days from now to get those quotes in and see what we're eligible for. So right after this meeting, I'm going to go wrap up some of those quotes for those people. And then working with Wendy on the RFP for a managed IT services and solution. And we had a bid opening on Friday, and I'll talk more about that later in the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the all the work. The tablets look like they're going to work great for us, and just getting everybody comfortable with them. So, moving on to old business, COVID updates. We had 7 employees miss a total of 21 days this month, or December, excuse me. So as we all saw, we saw an uptick in it, and kind of expected that. So county board compensation, we discussed this. I would ask, there's still some negotiations that are going on with some unions and non-unions. I would like to ask us to table that for 1 more month. Correct. Just leave it tabled. If that's okay with you, I'd like to get through some other stuff that's happening within the county, just so everybody's aware of. You're good, all okay with that? Okay. New business, OSHA vaccine mandate. And I think everybody saw this. This is a hot topic. Wendy, you want to
Yeah,
discuss
I
it?
will. So
Sure.
at this point in time, all I wanted to do, because I know it has been a hot topic in the national media, and I've had board members asking me and department heads asking me about this, so I just want to put it on your radar, that it's on our radar. But because it's still under, the mandate is still under appeal, we're not in a position, we think, to give words of wisdom to you just yet. But I wanted you to be aware that the mandate is out there, and pending these appeals, we may need to discuss this conversation or have discussed this topic, excuse me, a little bit further in the months to come. Mostly just wanted it on your radar. As Chris said, I did include in the packet just a very general overview from OSHA on what the mandate requires, just as an FYI to you. Thanks, Chris.
No problem. So any additional questions in regards to that? Okay, moving on to quarterly employee spotlight. This is something we started, what, a month, 2 months ago, something like that. And we have 3 people who have been nominated. How do you guys want to handle it? Do we want to discuss them? Do we want to make a motion? This committee, it's not going to be moved on to any other committee. It'll be handled in this committee. We want to talk about each person individually, or was everybody
For the
okay
agenda.
with, if you were able to read their profiles, is everybody okay with nominating everybody?
I have no problem nominating everybody. You know, each one of these, now, the first one, I was nominated three times, 3 different people. I'm not familiar with that one. Obviously, Lori and Ryan, T, and agree with one of those recommendations from those people. But I thought it was cool that Lisa got 3 different ones in their department, separate ones. So I just think that's awesome that other employees are noticing fellow employees working.
Yeah, this, and Wendy and I kind of talked a little bit beforehand. This all kind of came about from Lori Miller's contribution. I would like to recognize Lori as the first person to get this award. And then the other 2 people will follow here in January. We'll readdress, they'll turn in everything until, and we'll readdress any additional nominations in April. That work for everybody?
Yeah,
Can I, you want to put that in a motion, Mr. Struckstead?
I make a motion that we nominate Lori Miller as the quarterly employee spot,
And all of them, just do all of them.
and Ryan Krebs and this week.
In a second, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, those 3 individuals for all the work they do, and we'll go from there. Moving on to Syndio, and I know Mr. Struckstead was here for the bid opening, and Paul's back there to kind of discuss it as well. So, Paul, you want to take over?
Hi, yes, we went out for bid for essentially bringing in new servers and backup systems and some additional security for those backup systems, paired with managing those services, logging them, tracking the use and the like, which is good IT practice in terms of whoever got compromised or and the like. So not only bringing in new up-to-date servers, but backups on site and off site. And I had originally planned this as a capital expense, approximately $100,000, then added to my regular budget, which you approved, and then added to my regular kind of annual, request for contracted services in the amount of approximately $50,000. But as we looked at bringing in the equipment and managing long-term, I started to take a look at what could we do to kind of almost like amortize the cost of the hardware over a period of time and guarantee the support and services and the logging and the security. So we went out for this bid to essentially servers is a service, and the Zindio came in with the lowest bid at approximately $99,900. It's a little bit less than that and some change. And there's a some one-time cost upfront of approximately $12,000, a little bit more with some change. But also in their bid, and I have a question out to them, they included another one-time server software cost, and I just want to identify if that 12 is part of that or the like. But we already are familiar with Zindio. They've been an excellent service provider to us. Ogle County uses them as a number of other units of government, and everybody seems to be extremely happy with their service. And the next bidder came in at $342,000 a year for the next 4 years. Well, actually, the fourth year was like $400,000. And then their bid, not only were they high, but I think they completely missed the mark in terms of what we were asking for, because they really didn't talk about hardware and the servers. They just wanted to back up everything. And for example, their cost to back up, this other vendors, cost to back up just our online email and Word documents was $100,000 per year. So I think they missed the mark on that. And then we had another vendor who wasn't considered because they didn't submit bid properly or on time. So unless something comes up with additional one-time fees or the like that Zindio it didn't mention in their bid, I would ask the board to advance this to the full board, and I can give a complete summary and a review of the bid. But again, we just opened these on Friday. I'm still waiting for a couple of questions to come back from Zindio, but I have no reason to believe that this wouldn't be a bid that we're interested in going forward. And this would essentially not only bring the hardware in, but bring in a whole team of Zindio being available to us as part of the contracted services, almost as fourth and fifth IT people that we could tap into, allowing the current IT staff to focus on more hand-holding, desktop support, and even a little bit of training. Does anyone have any questions for me on this?
Just a quick follow-up comment, Paul, just for clarification, what you would be doing is making a motion to move this to the Finance Committee
Finance Committee?
and then on to the full board.
What's the time frame when they could start, or would we approve it, or what?
ASAP. My goal will be February 1st, but I've been known to be really optimistic at times. Just ask Paul.
Any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we send this to finance.
In a second. Ms. Naylor, all those in favor?
Aye.
Signify-
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Fantastic. We do have some stuff on executive session unless there's something else that anybody in the room needs to discuss.
I'd like to bring up one little bit of relatively new business. So your tablets are a dry run. You're the first committee to be using your tablets. Let us know how you feel about them. But we also did discover that all of your Wi-Fi internet is going through that one single device. And even though it can handle all the traffic going through, it has a physical limit of how many devices could, because we didn't know that before today. So I'll be taking a look at that and working with Wendy and the team to figure out what the best solution is for that. Because we don't want to run out of open channels out to the internet. It can handle it, just running out of open spots. So.
Fantastic. Thank you, Paul, for the update. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive. Ms. Allen, Ms. Naylor. Roll call vote coming out, correct, Becky? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Chris Norberg,
Yes.
Danielle Allen,
Yes.
Bill Palin,
Yes.
Nancy Naylor, Jack Sprogstad.
Yes.
So now we gotta get Jonathan to undo this.
So you double click on your thing. You swipe it up.
What?
No.
My real.